true. They said that a preacher is one who takes risks. Prabhupada said, exactly. As soon as you start preaching, you're taking a risk. So I won't take your time, but you just go ahead and enliven. They were very happy with the last class. I have a class every morning this week. So in the mornings, I'm not following, but
yeah, no problem.
You
yourself example of courage. You know, in
sometimes depends how big is the mouse.
And God in Nepal, you organizing such wonderful programs to come. So this time could not happen, but it's courage to continue. You know, it's courage to continue. Yes, that's true. It's not statements like that. It's not. Churchill said, "What does that mean? Courage? It means enthusiasm, and courage means continue, falling again and again to courage to stand up and continue."
Yeah, definitely required.
Thank you.
So we are very happy to have you, Patri, and very, very happy to have you. And we hope to have you again and again.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So we can start traditionally with a few minutes just warming up for our heart and mind with Mahamantra and just short Jai Radha Madhava, and we can go. All right. Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to everyone. Prepare your hands, by the way. Have a great courage to clap. Because those who are clapping with great courage, glorifying Krishna, you know, according scriptures, Akala Mrityuhara Nam Sarva Vedi Vinashanam, those who are glorifying God by clapping in the hands, they are all negative lines in your palms will be disappeared. Akala Mrityu, untimely death and diseases, you see. And according WHO organization, World Health, those who are clapping every day, minimum 100 times, they are heart attack related, you know, heart diseases. It reduces 60% becoming less chances. So let's clap and glorify Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana, Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Yashoda Nandana Raja Janaranjana, Yamuna Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana, Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hari, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hari, Patita Pavana, Patita Pavana, Patita Pavana, Gaura Hari, Patita Pavana, Patita Pavana, Patita Pavana, Gaura Hari, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Go, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Go, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. I hope everything and everyone fine and good and sound, spiritually and physically, in this very challenging situation of COVID-19. And I wish everyone be very courageous in this very challenging time. And we continue with our presentation. And I'll share the screen. We can just do quick recap. What did we discuss today? And I hope just to share the screen with all of you. How to do that? Who hope everybody were present in our last discussion. Can we do a quick recap? What do we remember from previous discussion with all of you? Who can share? If I'll just share the screen, we can continue.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yeah, the one point that I remember from the class you gave was that to encourage means to love the person.
Very good. Very nice. Very important. Very important. We have to love the person, and especially also we have to love somebody in this life, right? And in our spiritual context, we have to love Guru and Krishna. Like Srila Prabhupada we discussed, for the sake of his Guru Maharaj, he took such a sankalpa, isn't it? Because selflessly. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Anyone else who remembers what we discussed?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I remember that there's no courage without enthusiasm.
Very important, extremely important. And without one more quality. Who remembers which one? It's very, very important. We read about Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, how they approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, two more qualities they expressed in their prayer towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Humility.
Humility, very nice. Because if you want to become atom bomb in the hands of Krishna, first we have to become atom. Dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. We have to become like particle of dust. Feeling ourselves insignificant. And we have to be always courageous, as we said, courageous, nischayat. We have to be convinced, we have to be enthusiastic, utsahan. Right? And we're going to discuss today, we can open our discussion today with the same principle. Humble, we have to be very, very, Prabhupada said, as a lion in the preaching and as a lamb inside the temple. Very, very small, very, very sheep, very, very humble, right? Amanina manalina. So never expect respect for yourself, however great lion you may be. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he was always like Singha Guru known, right? But he was always Dasosmi. Whenever he used to come, anyone who used to come, Dasosmi, I am your servant. Dasa, dasa, anudasa. That is our mood. We don't want anything. I remember Srila Prabhupada was also, he was very humble. We remember how humble he was. Please make me dance, my name Bhaktivedanta name, but I don't have no Bhakti, no Vedanta. He wrote that wonderful prayers, right? And how courageous he was. One day he was sitting in Vrindavan with his old friends from Radha Damodar temple. He was sitting just, relaxed completely. And outside, hundreds of disciples were chanting mantra and expecting Prabhupada to come out. And Prabhupada was very relaxed mood with his friends sitting. And then Prabhupada stood up, dressed himself, put stick, and became, chest in front, said, okay, again, I have to become international guru. What to do? and he had to come out and make posture and put ring and put, sometimes appearance has to be there. Prabhupada was very humble, but when he came first time to see San Francisco, he kept in his bags, garland. Before he came out from airport, he put garland on himself. Why? Because he said, what to do? I am international guru. I have to, project myself like this, because these hippies, they don't know how to receive guru. You see, so, but Prabhupada was so courageous also, and very difficult sometimes to understand. Sometimes guru become very heavy, but inside he's very soft like rose. So courageous doesn't mean to become a heavy, hearted person, hard-hearted. No, we have to be very, very humble, very, very soft and humble inside. But when required, you have to become very bold. As we always say, that Arjuna received the knowledge from Krishna in the beginning of Kurukshetra, no? Amanita madambhitva mahim sachanti rajamam acharyopasanam kshaucham kshantiratma vinigraha indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha. He gold all this knowledge. What is real knowledge? It begins with humility, amanitvam, adambhitvam, no pride. But at the same time, after battle Kurukshetra, started, Arjuna said, Karishya vachanam tava. He takes the bow and starts to shoot the arrows. What a humble person. So how come he's so bold and killing his guru, Bhishma Pitamaha, his brothers, and you call it Vinamrta or what? So this is humility. And humility means to follow the order of spiritual master. That's humility. Not what you want, but what Guru wants and what Krishna wants from you. We have to bow down our head, right? So surrender, as they say in Hindi. Sir means head, sir under, sir under. We have to just understand Krishna's mood. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, right? Because without humility, that courage, people will take the ahankar, they will become more proud by being courageous. But we have to always be humble. Okay, so can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right. So let us continue with the courage, and I would like to discuss with you topic. We begin from Bhagavad Gita 6:24. We just mentioned, because it's very big discussion, and we'll just read Sanskrit and translation. And somebody, we'll not read Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So, Sanischayena Yuktavyo Yogo Nivrinna Chetasa Sankalpa Prabhavan Kamams Tyaktva Sarvan Asheshataha Manasayevendriya Gramam Viniyamya Samantatah. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with undeviating determination and faith. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of false ego, and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind. So why I choose this shloka? Because Srila Prabhupada gives wonderful example in that purport of the sparrow. How many of you remember the example of sparrow? Do you remember?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Who can just briefly mention that example?
I think the eggs of sparrow just taken away by the sea waves, and so sparrow wanted to get back those eggs, and he was trying to take drops of water from the ocean, and by his effort, for his effort, Goruro was pleased, and then he came and he threatened the ocean to give back that the eggs, and so this is a great example of determination.
Very nice, very nice. Sorry, thank you very much, Prabhuji. So actually, the thing is that very often in life we have to face provocating situation where we have to fight against the current of all society, against the current of all our forces inside us, like lust, greed, anger, whatever, big army of Kali Yuga. And there are four areas where we have to be courageous very often, right? This is the social, emotional, physical, and spiritual. We can talk a little bit today. I really don't want to jump around. Once we could have one more session, at least we can give it more in details, but we can just mention this so we can get idea where we have to be courageous. You see, that's example of little sparrow, exactly what you said. So let us all always remember this example of the little sparrow. You see, she is like our Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, our instructing spiritual master, teaching us by the example how to accomplish even the most seemingly impossible things by being very, very determined and courageous. You see, can you imagine to fight against the ocean, small, insignificant sparrow? Well, you see, anyone would like to think what areas we have the challenges in our life socially? Who can just share what can be the challenge for all of us in spiritual life to fight socially? Be courageous socially. What does it mean for you to be socially courageous? Before I share my experience, I tell you, this is Yam Swa Anubhava Makilam. So this is actually my experience, Swa Anubhava. What does it mean to be socially courageous?
Hare
Mhm.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Hare Krishna. I feel in my understanding, being socially courageous means we do not live according to the expectation of the materialistic people, but we live according to the expectation of desires of God, which is very difficult in this society.
Yes, yes. Mataji, very, very important. Very nice. Thank you. I have personally this experience, and I'm sure most of the devotees, those especially in the West, they have this challenge. And nowadays also in India, when you're becoming devotee, people saying, oh, you crazy or what? You became saintly person going to temple too often. You crazy. As Prabhupada said, they saying we are crazy. We are saying they're crazy. You see, I told last time that I was trained in army. I was commando officer, lieutenant. And when I became devotee, I became sadhu, brahmachari. My mother thought, you're crazy. When I shaved myself, I put this shikha and put these robes, you know. She said, you're crazy. And she said, don't come back home, okay? Maybe I told last time also to some devotees. She said, don't come home. Get out from here because we're feeling ashamed of you. Because people laughing at us by seeing you. You're like crazy in these bed sheets coming here. So people laughing at us. We're feeling ashamed. So I told my mom, you know, have you ever been ashamed in your life because of me? She said, no, I was proud of you. So I told her, well, you may be not understanding philosophy. That's okay. Because we are from Christian background. But I told her, you were never ashamed, and I promise you, you will never be ashamed in future. So like that. And that I left my house, and for 25 years, I never came back home because they didn't allow me to come. And my friends were laughing, and my army officers, you know, commandos, they kicked me out from the army, and just basically I became Nagarka Nagatka. So you'll be and of course later on cancer, she came back to India and I invited her. She went to all holy places and she came to Nepal. She saw our community. She was transformed. She put tilak, she put kantimala, she started to chant, you know, and then she told, I got so much love in my life in 1 month. I didn't get so much love in all my life. And I reminded you, remember you told me you were ashamed? So, but now she is devotee, she is Hare Krishna chanting like that. That's another story, of course, but the challenge we have to face. Because Prabhupada said, first they will criticize you, then they will listen to you, then they will worship you. But it takes time, like Jesus Christ. So, but we have to take the social challenge. And the physical challenge, what do you think? Physical challenge in spiritual life. Courageous. Stand up and fight. Utishta tishta bharata. Mamanusmara yuddhacha. What is a physical challenge for us? Any examples? Come on. We don't have much time. Plenty of examples in this con.
Fasting.
Huh?
Fasting, Ekadasi.
Sorry, cannot hear you.
Ekadasi.
Ekadashi, super. Super courage. You have to be courageous. Nowadays, not to eat feast, especially when it's Vyasa Puja of Jayataka Maharaj, and you have to fast. You know, some devotees, so courageous to do nirjala. In fact, very often we also do. But sometimes devotee eating in front of you so much chopan bhog and Mahaprasad, and you have to be courageous to eat with them also. I remember once His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he was in Mayapur doing Chaturmasya and was fasting like anything. And Prabhupada was eating chopan bhog plate, some Mahaprasad from Radha Madhava. And Bhakti Charu Maharaj came and he was fasting. And Prabhupada said, "Come here, what are you doing?" He kept some beard. And then he said, "Come here." And Prabhupada just gave him rasagula from Radha Madhava or some samosa or something like that. That sometimes courage, not only to fast, of course, but also to eat Mahaprasadam. This is also tapasya. Not to eat outside food, but eat only Mahaprasadam. This is great tapasya, great courage. Thank you, Prabhuji. What about Jayataka Maharaj? Physical challenge. For the sake of others, what challenge he is going through, what courageous person he is. Isn't it? Needless to say, everybody sees what's happening. Still pushing, push, pray until something happens, pushing. 2008, such a stroke, deadly stroke. Now, see, mostly 12, 13 years already. He's just pushing, traveling all over the world, giving thousands of lectures. He's my GBC. Yesterday, we had meeting with him, day before yesterday. Unbelievable. What courageous person he is, giving lectures. Not to be imitated, okay? All right, so that's the physical. What about emotional courage? You can relate. If you don't have that many examples, you meditate on that. That we have this also opportunity to be emotionally courageous.
His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, because he went to went to America during the COVID situation for preaching purpose.
Very nice. This is also a very good example. Yes. To accept that we discussed with you the meaning of the courage, not to be afraid in most difficult situation. You see, we are just about to speak about that. And this is in Nepal, they have this bhajan, never give up. These Gorkhas, Nepali Gorkhas, never give up. And real challenge means when Prabhupada said that the real greatness of the man can be understood by his ability to tolerate provocating situation. Greatness of the man can be understood, but his ability to tolerate provocating situations. So many provocating situations we're going to face. Like that. Emotionally, you tell me, is it never happens like that? We're also feeling down sometimes, something happened in our life, somebody betrayed us, right? Somebody cheated, whatever. This is life. I'm always saying to all devotees, sometimes I am up, you are down, and sometimes I am down, you are up. But together, average is progressively up, together, hold. We're always holding each other, helping each other to make home of love and devotion, hold together. That's separate seminar we gave. It's called Shield and Sword of Spiritual Warrior. To be courageous warrior, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj used to say, you have to be spiritual warrior. And to be warrior, I tell you, if you'll have time, I'll complete by a wonderful example from my experience in army, how to be courageous, and also a few examples and 10 lessons how to be courageous. This is spiritual battlefield, Prabhupada said in Bhagavad Gita also. He mentioned, we declaring the war to Maya, like this small sparrow declaring the challenge in the war to ocean, like that. And, to be courageous, it's not easy sometimes. And the shield and sword means Shraddha, holy name, intelligence, enthusiasm, love and discipline. Shield, Shraddha, holy name, intelligence, enthusiasm, and discipline. That makes a shield, protect us, make us courageous, because when you're feeling sheltered, you'll be courageous. As we discussed yesterday, about the faith, Shraddhanusari Bhakti Adhikari. So if you have faith, then courage will come, conviction comes. Lose of enthusiasm and courage means you're losing the faith. Faith in the process, faith in the authority, whatever. Faith in yourself. Faith in yourself, sometimes we are losing. So, and sword means shraddha, willpower, optimism, and dust from lotus feet of Vaishnavas. So this is a sword. So you cannot be courageous when you are empty and naked. You know, you have to have a weapon in your hands and protection. Then courage comes, faith, shraddha. So, and a wonderful example of courage was Abhimanyu, right? I'm sure that everybody knows this example of Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu knew the art of penetrating chakra vyuha, apart from Arjuna, Lord Krishna, and Pradyumna. Abhimanyu learned the knowledge of chakra vyuha while was inside the mother's womb, because Arjuna used to share this knowledge of battlefield with his wife. She was also Kshatrani, you see, etc. So this is what a courage. And what happened to him? Who remembers? Just briefly. Somebody remembers the story?
He was ambushed.
Correct. By all the Maharathas, Bhishma, Drona, Dushasan, Duryodhan, everybody went, Karna, everybody surrounded him because he was so courageous, alone. And why he was alone? Who remembers? Who stopped him from, who stopped the Pandavas from following him to protect?
Jayadratha.
Correct. Jayadratha, because he was blessed by Lord Shiva, not to kill Pandavas, but to stop them. And though even Arjuna is not there also, that was the condition. Even Shiva could not do anything. So somehow or other, they cheated, Arjuna went far away, and Pandavas, they were surprised what to do now because they make chakra vyuha. And Abhimanyu said, no problem, I know how to penetrate chakra vyuha, but I don't know how to come out because my mother slept that night and I could not hear all the story. So, but I know half only, how to penetrate. And Pandava said, okay, no, don't worry, we will be with you, we will protect you. And that actually happened, and Jayadratha cut them off. And Abhimanyu went inside, but he could not know, he didn't know how to get out from there. And then he fought so vigorously and courageously that all Maharathas had to come together to stop him and to finish him, to kill him. So many against the law of dharma, not one-to-one battle. So, but he was so courageous, and he was such a pride of Arjuna and Krishna even, and even all the enemies, they were praising him. Wow, what a boy! Baap ka beta sipai ka ghoda kuch nahi to thoda thoda. Like sons saying, father, you know, they were glorifying Abhimanyu. So this is the courage. Similarly, like it reminds me, Srila Prabhupada, along he challenged all world. Try to understand, 40 rupees in the pocket. He just simply went to America, unknown country, unknown culture, you know, alone, no support, no help, and he was fighting. So how many of us, we have this experience in life? Sometimes housewife has to become courageous in their own Kurukshetra at home. Every one of us, we have our own Kurukshetra to fight. You see, not only sannyasis or big warriors. Every one of us, we can get out from comfortable zone like that. Okay, so this is emotionally, spiritually, socially, and physically also, we discussed. So next, you see, reasons why people losing confidence and enthusiasm. We also touched little last time, because people becoming overconfident. Kartahamati manyate ahankara vimudhatma. And then pride comes before the fall. That's a separate topic. Laziness. I'm okay, I'm fine, that's okay. That's why they become, some people thinking I am old, I'm senior devotee, and they enjoying by Tarangarangini on the waves of results of their preaching. They always remaining in comfortable zone because now they got prestige, position, and they don't want to take risk anymore. But Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, I remember he used to tell, you have to rejoin ISKCON every morning. Every morning you have to rejoin ISKCON. You have to become new Bhakta every morning. Even you after 50 years of Krishna consciousness, still we have to rejoin ISKCON and feel ourselves very simple devotee. Familiarity, fault finding, and duplicity in relationships kutinati, and dosa dristi. This all these things. Familiarity brings contempt. When we becoming too much close, too much familiar, we stop to appreciate devotees, and we are not feeling encouraged. But we have to associate with devotees those who are courageous. As Prabhupada said, if you are driving bicycle and somebody running by the high-speed car, if you catch the car, you will run with the same speed as a car. Okay, so and investing faith in the person, not in the Krishna consciousness process. When something happened to the person, people losing courage, people losing enthusiasm. I'm sure if somebody didn't have this experience, I had a lot. I have seen when spiritual masters leaving, and then so many devotees, they leaving Krishna consciousness and movement also, because they invested their faith in the person only, not in the process. It's very, very important. And we can become, without courage and enthusiasm, we become like broken pot. Looks like pot, but everything is, drainage is there. So, and remedies to recover our enthusiasm is enthusiasm, association with enthusiastic Vaishnavas, spring cleaning, regular checkup for ourselves, our faith, our goals. We have to always do spring cleaning. Spring cleaning, maha cleaning, gundicha. Time to time, periodically, we have to check up what is our motivation. Why I'm losing enthusiasm? Why I'm not courageous? Why I'm not able to take risk and stand for the truth? So what is that? Sometimes we have to become like very, very motivations lost, and standards of SSSS, sadhana, sadachar, seva, and sangha with devotees. See, we have to always revive and to recheck. What is my motivation? What is my sadhana? What are my goals? What I want to achieve? Because we have to achieve something in our life. Especially this courage, very much tested in book distribution. Courage, very much tested, especially this time, COVID-19 and so many challenges. And still we have to preach. Just now I came from India and now we are traveling in Nepal. In spite of COVID, it's like emergency, but so many people waiting, like medical doctors. They go into an epidemic place to save the people. Fire brigade people, they going inside the fire to help people, right? So devotees also, they're like doctors. They go into the fire of Kamagni, Krodagni, Lobagni. They going to, like Prahlad Maharaj said, I'm worried about these rascals and I want to be in the Ugra cities, Ugra Sthane. I'm going to the cities and towns where all these fallen people staying. And devotees sometimes are diving there. I'm about to share with you one nice experience about 10 lessons from US SEAL Commando, officer training. Would you like to hear? Other day, it's very much encouraging for me and of course, it's for me, it's very, very close to my spirit, and I learn a lot in my life. And when I heard these 10 lessons, I draw the exact parallel from my personal life. That's exactly what we learn. But I'm trying to put it because I found this interview, an encouragement interview of one SEAL officer commando. And there's very, very nice lessons. We don't have much really time to hear Patri Das Samhita purports. Otherwise, with each and every lesson, I can tell you the stories and experience. With our brahmacharis, we had class for maybe 2-3 hours after hearing these 10 lessons. It's very nice about the courage, how to take the challenge and how to expand Krishna's empire. Okay, so what we can do, we can just simply listen to this interview, and some of you maybe heard about that, but I cut it. It's much longer, but I cut it and I make it more appropriate. Everybody with us? Ready?
Yes,
And
Prabhuji.
kindly notice, and we can go ahead.
I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years. I saw the worst of humanity. So here are the 10 lessons I learned from basic SEAL training that hopefully will be of.
Somehow it's.
I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years.
Interesting, but it's not moving. Okay, let's go. Just 1 second, give me.
I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years. I saw the worst of humanity. So here are the 10 lessons I learned from basic SEAL training that hopefully will be of value to you as you move forward in life. Every morning in SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were all Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they'd do was inspect my bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers would be pulled tight, the pillow centered just under the headboard, and the extra blanket folded neatly at the foot of the rack. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.
So, excuse me, I'll show you the video clip. It's supposed to be video clip, very interesting video clip. Somehow it's still image only. I'll just show you a video clip. But he says, you have to start with small things because love made out of small things. If you cannot do small things right, you see, you cannot accomplish the big things also correctly. That's very, very important principle. And I remember in our training in army, we also had the similar principle that people, those who really were courageous enough, they were able to do small things first. You see? And he said, if you cannot,
I've been a Navy.
if you cannot do small things right, you cannot do big things as well, ever. Srila Prabhupada used to say, you see, if you want to test the rice, whether it's cooked or not, how you can understand whether it's cooked or not, you take only one, you can take only one piece of rice, you can take one piece of rice, and you can just simply, you can just check quality of all pot by understanding quality of, this is one piece of rice. If one piece of rice is, not cooked properly, so then you will not be able to, you will judge for all pot. So I found that clip in the clip, so we can just share with you the clip.
I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years. We were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. During SEAL training, the students are all broken down into boat crews. Each crew is 7 students, 3 on each side of a small rubber boat, and 1 coxswain to help guide the dinghy. Every day, your boat crew forms up on the beach and is instructed to get through the surf zone and paddle several miles down the coast. In the winter, the surf off San Diego can get to be 8 to 10 feet high, and it is exceedingly difficult to paddle through the plunging surf unless everyone digs in. Every paddle must be synchronized to the stroke count of the coxswain. Everyone must exert equal effort or the boat will turn against the wave and be unceremoniously dumped back on the beach. For the boat to make it to its destination, everyone must paddle. You can't change the world alone. You will need some help. And to truly get from your starting point to your destination takes friends, colleagues, the goodwill of strangers, and a strong coxswain to guide you. If you want to change the world, find someone to help you paddle. Over a few weeks,
It's very, very important to understand that I am because we are. We do need to have a team. Together, everyone achieves more, like Pandavas, like Prachetas. Like we always need to have, it's called Sankirtana, Samyak Kirtana, like football team. As Benjamin Franklin, he used to say, there is nothing impossible for the group of people for whom does not matter who will take the credit. Must be some group of team, a group of people, team, then be possible to achieve something. Because alone you cannot do it. And that's spiritual life. We have to develop relationship with devotees and create that team. And real friends, not those who are looking at each other, but those who are looking in the same direction.
Training, my SEAL class, which started with 150 men, was down to just 42. There were now 6 boat crews of 7 men each. I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the best boat crew we had was made up of the little guys, the Munchkin crew, we called them. No one was over 5'5". The Munchkin boat crew had 1 American Indian, 1 African American, 1 Polish American, 1 Greek American, 1 Italian American, and 2 tough kids from the Midwest. They out-paddled, outran, and outswam all the other boat crews. The big men in the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkins put on their tiny little feet prior to every swim. But somehow these little guys from every corner of the nation and the world always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, not your ethnic background, not your education, not your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart, not by the size of their flippers.
Look, this is super. I really was encouraged by that. We have to judge people not by their size and color and nationality, but by the size of their hearts, big hearts. In our life, there is one, as a side road note for all of you. You can go through the compassionate communication by Mr. Marshall. If you heard about that, you can study his teachings a little bit, the science of compassionate communication. And he explains there that there are 2 kinds of people. There are giraffe and jackals. Giraffe is a animal with the biggest heart, because to pump the blood to the head, you have to have big heart. It's called empathy, to have heart for others, to feel what others feel. Para dukkha dukkhi, para sukha sukhi. And jackal is always criticizing others and howling, finding faults in others. So we have to judge people by the size of their heart, how they can feel, and respect others. Amanina manadena. Give respect, never expect respect for yourself.
Several times a week, the instructors would line up the class and do a uniform inspection. It was exceptionally thorough. Your hat had to be perfectly starched, your uniform immaculately pressed, your belt buckle shiny and void of any smudges. But it seemed that no matter how much effort you put into starching your hat or pressing your uniform or polishing your belt buckle, it just wasn't good enough. The instructors would find something wrong. For failing the uniform inspection, the student had to run fully clothed into the surf zone, then wet from head to toe, roll around on the beach until every part of your body was covered with sand. The effect was known as sugar cookie. You stayed in the uniform the rest of the day, cold, wet, and sandy. There were many a student who just couldn't accept the fact that all their efforts were in vain, that no matter how hard they tried to get the uniform right, it went unappreciated. Those students didn't make it through training. Those students didn't understand the purpose of the drill. You were never going to succeed. You were never going to have a perfect uniform. The instructors weren't going to allow it. Sometimes, no matter how well you prepare or how well you perform, you still end up as a sugar cookie. It's just the way life is sometimes. If you want to change the world, get over being a sugar cookie and keep moving forward. Every day.
So this is very, very also impressive. Don't be enthusiastic when everything is fine. Sometimes things will go completely opposite your way and you will feel yourself completely insignificant. But still, you have to act enthusiastically and continue. Because it's easy to be Krishna conscious and happy when everything available, all situations there. But when we're getting special assignment by Krishna and put in the most difficult situation, like Draupadi, like Kunti, like Pandavas, like Prahlad Maharaj, to remain Krishna consciousness that time in sugar cookie, very difficult. But we have to, if you really want to change the world and be part of mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have to continue and be courageous.
During training, you were challenged with multiple physical events, long runs, long swims, obstacle courses, hours of calisthenics, something designed to test your mettle. Every event had standards, times you had to meet. If you failed to meet those times, those standards, your name was posted on a list. And at the end of the day, those on the list were invited to a circus. A circus was 2 hours of additional calisthenics designed to wear you down, to break your spirit, to force you to quit. No one wanted a circus. A circus meant that for that day, you didn't measure up. A circus meant more fatigue, and more fatigue meant that the following day would be more difficult and more circuses were likely. But at some time during SEAL training, everyone made the circus list. But an interesting thing happened to those who were constantly on the list. Over time, those students who did 2 hours of extra calisthenics got stronger and stronger. The pain of the circuses built inner strength and physical resiliency. Life is filled with circuses. You will fail. You will likely fail often. It will be painful. It will be discouraging. At times, it will test you to your very core. But if you want to change the world, don't be afraid of the circuses.
This life is like big circus. I really, in this case, I'm sometimes telling many, many stories from book distribution, many, many challenges, but we still have to continue and not to be afraid to go to the most challenging situation if you really if you want to reach the heart of people. It's explained, you can never ever expect people to lend their helping hand and accept what you're saying unless you will be able to touch their heart. So life will be full of circuses, but if you can take the order of spiritual master, you can have examples of Mandakini Mataji, you see, Jagatarini Mataji, like so many, many wonderful examples of this great heroes in Krishna consciousness. And even though it was such an imperfection for them, so many challenges were there, they feeling themselves very low sometimes, but they never hesitated to take that challenge and to do extra exercise for Krishna.
At least twice a week, the trainees were required to run the obstacle course. The obstacle course contained 25 obstacles, including a 10-foot wall, a 30-foot cargo net, a barbed wire crawl, to name a few. But the most challenging obstacle was the slide for life. It had a 3-level, 30-foot tower at one end and a 1-level tower at the other. In between was a 200-foot long rope. You had to climb the 3-tiered tower, and once at the top, you grabbed the rope, swung underneath the rope, and pulled yourself hand over hand until you got to the other end. The record for the obstacle course had stood for years when my class began in 1977. The record seemed unbeatable until one day a student decided to go down the slide for life head first. Instead of swinging his body underneath the rope and inching his way down, he bravely mounted the top of the rope and thrust himself forward. It was a dangerous move, seemingly foolish and fraught with risk. Failure could mean injury and being dropped from the course. Without hesitation, the student slid down the rope perilously fast. Instead of several minutes, it only took him half that time. And by the end of the course, he had broken the record. If you want to change the world, sometimes you have to slide down the obstacles head first.
You see, sometimes you have to willingly take a risk. And Prabhupada said to have full faith in something sublime, right? Faith means Suhrida Nischay, Krishna Bhakti Kaila, Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. So to have that faith, which we have never done before, but we have to take a risk for the higher cause. Then we can build up our spiritual muscles and faith will grow.
During the land warfare phase of training, the students are flown out to San Clemente Island, which lies off the coast of San Diego. The waters off San Clemente are a breeding ground for the great white sharks. To pass SEAL training, there are a series of long swims that must be completed. One is the night swim. Before the swim, the instructors joyfully brief the students on all the species of sharks that inhabit the waters off San Clemente. They assure you, however, that no student has ever been eaten by a shark, at least not that they can remember. But you are also taught that if a shark begins to circle your position, stand your ground. Do not swim away. Do not act afraid. And if the shark, hungry for a midnight snack, darts towards you, then summons up all your strength and punch him in the snout, and he will turn and swim away. There are a lot of sharks in the world. If you hope to complete the swim, you will have to deal with them. So if you want to change the world, don't back down from the sharks.
So, so many people will be against you. You see, as they say in Hindi, people, they try to pull us down, they challenging people. Even Srila Prabhupada is criticized, you see. But as he said, caravan moving, dogs are barking. And there will be many, many sharks in our world, in our life, which we have to challenge. You know, we can please everyone. Prabhupada said, you cannot please everyone. As Steve Jobs said, if you want to please everyone, you have to go and sell ice creams. So therefore, we have to be strong enough to stand for the truth and to be efficient and effective.
As Navy SEALs, one of our jobs is to conduct underwater attacks against enemy shipping. We practice this technique extensively during training. The ship attack mission is where a pair of SEAL divers is dropped off outside an enemy harbor and then swims well over 2 miles underwater, using nothing but a depth gauge and a compass to get to the target. During the entire swim, even well below the surface, there is some light that comes through. It is comforting to know that there is open water above you. But as you approach the ship, which is tied to a pier, the light begins to fade. The steel structure of the ship blocks the moonlight. It blocks the surrounding street lamps. It blocks all ambient light. To be successful in your mission, you have to swim under the ship and find the keel, the center line, and the deepest part of the ship. This is your objective. But the keel is also the darkest part of the ship, where you cannot see your hand in front of your face, where the noise from the ship's machinery is deafening, and where it gets to be easily disoriented, and you can fail. Every SEAL knows that under the keel, at that darkest moment of the mission, is the time when you need to be calm, when you must be calm, when you must be composed, when all your tactical skills, your physical power, and your inner strength must be brought to bear. If you want to change the world, you must be your very best in the darkest moments.
So as they say, we used to say in the army also, more you're sweating during the training time, less you'll be bleeding during the war. You see? So therefore, we should not be afraid of the difficulties, and we have to be always cool. You see, we have to always be best ourselves in the challenging situation, and it will come. It's not maybe, it's 100% will come to everyone. So that time, we have to be best version of ourselves.
The 9th week of training is referred to as Hell Week. It is 6 days of no sleep, constant physical and mental harassment, and one special day at the Mud Flats. The Mud Flats are an area between San Diego and Tijuana where the water runs off and creates the Tijuana Sloughs, a swampy patch of terrain where the mud will engulf you. It is on Wednesday of Hell Week that you paddle down to the Mud Flats and spend the next 15 hours trying to survive this freezing cold, the howling wind, and the incessant pressure to quit from the instructors. As the sun began to set that Wednesday evening, my training class, having committed some egregious infraction of the rules, was ordered into the mud. The mud consumed each man till there was nothing visible but our heads. The instructors told us we could leave the mud if only 5 men would quit. Only 5 men, just 5 men, and we could get out of the oppressive cold. Looking around the mud flat, it was apparent that some students were about to give up. It was still over 8 hours till the sun came up. 8 more hours of bone-chilling cold. The chattering teeth and the shivering moans of the trainees were so loud, it was hard to hear anything. And then one voice began to echo through the night. One voice raised in song. The song was terribly out of tune, but sung with great enthusiasm. One voice became 2, and 2 became 3, and before long, everyone in the class was singing. The instructors threatened us with more time in the mud if we kept up the singing, but the singing persisted. And somehow the mud seemed a little warmer, and the wind a little tamer, and the dawn not so far away. If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person, a Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even a young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world by giving people hope. So if you want to change the world, start singing when you're up to your neck in mud.
start singing when you're up to the neck in the mud. You know, what a statement. You see, very often when life will throw you down with no light around, I firmly put on tilak and chant the holy sound. Don't worry profit or the loss, surrender life to supreme boss, and far and wide try spread his fame by chanting sweet and holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Like Draupadi, she put her hand only up and she was trying to take shelter of so many things, but Krishna made her to put 2 hands up and surrender completely. So that's the only solution, you see.
Finally, in SEAL training, there's a bell. A brass bell that hangs in the center of the compound for all the students to see. All you have to do to quit is ring the bell. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to wake up at 5 o'clock. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to be in the freezing cold swims. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to do the runs, the obstacle course, the PT, and you no longer have to endure the hardships of training. All you have to do is ring the bell to get out. If you want to change the world, don't ever ring the bell. It will not be easy. Start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone. Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks, step up when the times are the toughest, face down the bullies, lift up the downtrodden, and never, ever give up. If you do these things, the next generation and the generations that follow will live in a world far better than the one we have today. And what started here will indeed have changed the world for the better. Thank you. You will all have an opportunity to inspire someone around you. Never, ever miss that opportunity. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Actually, this is a wonderful opportunity to encourage each other. By sharing our experience and to be courageous. And nothing inspiring others as our example of being courageous in Krishna Prabhupada's mission and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Like Nityananda Prabhu, when people throwing stone at you, you still have to be able to give them flower. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, you most welcome. We have a few minutes left. You can kindly think if any questions are there, we can just take a few questions. All right. Any reflections? What did you get for yourself from this discussion? Very brief, shooting from the hip discussion. but it's very, very important. What did you get for yourself which you can carry with you in your life, you can implement? Gyana Vijnanam Sahitam.
Sorry. Can I?
Connection lost.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. What I could learn is we have to be, now I am encouraged to remain and to spread Krishna consciousness.
Wonderful. Yes, we have to find out how to do it in most efficient way. And you have to read first Canto Bhagavatam, chapter 4, text number 1. Purport. You have to do it with realization and in the way which is suitable according to time, place, and circumstances. Remember, 1, 4, 1. Purport. Prabhupada gives very, very nice definition of realization. How to preach with courage, but with realization, not simply theoretically. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Any other reflection?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Shall I?
Yes, yes, please.
I like a revival of 4S. That is sadhana, sadachara, and seva and sangha.
Very nice. Thank you very much. That's actually our foundation, actually, Mataji. This is foundation. Without foundation, there is no skyscraper building. Because it is said, as big skyscraper we have, as big should be foundation inside the ground. It may be not seen, but like Prabhupada, he made the ISKCON International in 12 years. Huge organization. Everybody can see that, but nobody can see the foundation Prabhupada established in previous 40 years. Writing magazines, writing books, Jhansi, Allahabad, so many challenges here. Life is preparation, that foundation. And that was SSSS, association, sadhana, determination, sangha, shastra, scriptures. Thank you, very important. Otherwise it will become like simply balloon, like boom, not empty inside. We have to have some foundation. Hare Krishna. Thank you. All right.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Ajay Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad.
Since your Prabhuji last class, so I have been every day thinking about things that I should do with courage. Since last class, and that has certainly made an impact. And today's class is going to make further reinforcement to some of these thoughts. So thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yes, very nice. Because we have to push each other. Come on. I remember.
Yes, excellent.
When I was in the army, we had training, 4 years commando training like this. Something like this, something not like this, but basically principle is the same. We used to make the beds every morning, and I also used to freak out. What is this nonsense? I came to become army officer and they teaching me to make bed. Very, very meticulously, we had to make pakka bed every day. So, but then I realized if you cannot do small things, you cannot do big things, pakka. And I remember when we were 112 soldiers in one unit in our camp. And we had strong boys and we had very motor, fat and weak boys also. And when we used to run with all ammunition, machine gun and all this 35 kilo extra on you and gas mask and whatnot, we have to run 3, 5, 6 kilometers every day. And the officer used to, our commando used to check result. And it's supposed to be certain amount of time, 1 hour, 20 minutes. If you didn't do it, you'll go for the circus. You can be extra 2 hours exercises, which will make you more weak. And our strong boys used to come in time, but our weak boys, they used to come very late, because they're very, very weak. And usually every day, strong boys used to beat and chastise this, hey, Mota, you crazy guys, because of you. But result was, counted not by the first people, but the secret was result was counted by the last one. And if last one came late, then all unit fail. Tomorrow, all unit has to repeat the same exercise. So everybody suffering because of somebody. So one day we decided, hey, you guys, those who are strong, don't run ahead. In fact, those who were first should become last and help those who are weak. So next day we used to take somebody taking bag, somebody taking machine gun, hey, you Mota, and somebody taking his buckle, belt, catching his belt, and as a train engine, pulling him, and there's, he's running behind those strong boys, he pulling him. And as a result, whole unit became successful. Why? Because strongest one used to go back and push those who are weak. That was the team work. And that was actually the purpose of the training. Not just to show how great you are, how many shlokas do you know, and how super pooper manager you are. No. Because in a football team, doesn't matter who will put the goal. Once team won, everybody will get the golden medal. Even those who are 11 players, sometimes never getting chance to play. There is some extra 11 people.
Yeah.
But sometimes in Olympic Games, they never getting chance to play even. But once one Maradona or Pele putting goal and team won, 25 people getting gold. 24 people, 22 people, the players, and then medical support and coach and everybody. Doesn't matter who put the goal. So this is the teamwork. And that spirit required. Courageous means we have to help each other. Sometimes it's missing. People feeling lonely heroes, tigers, walking along. But Krishna doesn't appreciate that. You can see fourth canto Bhagavatam, chapter 30, text number 8. Write it down. You don't have much time. 4:38. This is a prachetas. Krishna telling to prachetas, I'm very happy with you and I'm willing to give you blessings because of your mutual friendship. Because you're like, I'm not impressed by your tapasya for 10,000 years. I'm not really impressed. What can you impress? It is explained in Bhagavatam. Rahu ganaitat tapasana yati nachajjaya nirvapanad grihadva nachandasa nirvajalagni suryer vina mahat padarajo bhishekam. Not by tapasya, not by cold water austerity sitting up to the neck, not by fire, nothing impress Krishna, unless we will get the dust from lotus feet of Vaishnava. Padarajo bhishekam. Only dust from lotus feet of Vaishnavas will impress Krishna. Like that. So we have to serve each other to impress Krishna. Thank you very much. That's what you have to
Thank you very much.
Rajeshwar Gauranga Prabhu,
Thank you.
raise your hand there.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for wonderful class. Prabhuji, in our society, we face always this kind of problem that we don't know how to encourage other, and also we don't want to encourage others. And personally, I feel myself that I'm unable to encourage others in their when someone is in disaster situation, especially the devotees, those who are in not in favorable condition in their spiritual life, and also material also. So what sort of qualities in practical ways we should achieve to encourage others? Because I see that like you are inspiring others so easily. Some special qualities naturally that some devotees have. Not only devotees, I see that some material people also, from material point of view, they have natural tendency to encourage others, but not all the people. So personally, how can I achieve those sort of qualities to encourage others? It's not natural for me. So could you please guide me in this regard, Prabhuji? Just some practical ways in short.
The nature of this material world is pulling people down all the time. It's a law of gravity. You see, boom, it's everything pulled down. Our spirit pulled down. Every morning you wake up, you have to force yourself wake up, and you have to prepare yourself. Nothing happened by chance, automatically, you see. You have to pay the price. And this is sweat and blood. You have to prepare your muscles. Life, as Mahatma Gandhi, I believe, he said, oh, this is Mother Teresa, she said, my life is my lecture. So you have to make your life into the lecture. And we are distributing overflow. When tanky, container, I'm giving example of when you're filling up the tank on the roof, then it's coming out. Then this is preaching. First, you have to be in courage, inside courage yourself. First dress, then address. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Aponachare jivere sikhao. So you cannot give something which you don't have. So like that. Therefore, it reminds me that wonderful story about the cup. Cup. Have you heard this story about the cup? One tourist, he came to the antique shop and he found one cup, clay cup. And he asked how much it cost. It looks very nice, very encouraging. And shopkeeper, he said, it's cost you $1,000. What? What? Small cup? Such a high price? Yes, yes, yes. And shopkeeper said, because this is not simple cup. This is speaking cup. It's talking cup. Those who don't have friends, those who will buy this cup, they'll be encouraged. They'll have this cup. And this cup can encourage everyone. Oh, really? So that tourist happened not to have the friends. He was very lonely. He decided to buy the cup. And one day he bought the cup. He came home and he was drinking milk and reading Krishna book. But then he was a little bit upset. Too much costly, Too much, huh? How come? So he asked the cup, my dear cup, why are you so costly? Not too much, too much, too much costly. $1,000, man, one small cup. What is this? And this cup told me, my dear friend, I tell you one thing. You know why I'm so costly? Tell me. and she said, once upon a time, I was simply dirty mud, lying down independent. And many great king walking on me, and I was lying down doing nothing. I was enjoying life as I wanted. See? And one day, one mystery, one pot maker came and grabbed me from the ground and pulled me from my family. And he took to his ashram, Patri Samhita Tatparya. He took me to his shop and he started to squeeze me and make me soft, completely squeezing me. It was so painful. And I was screaming, stop, stop, stop. And he was smiling to me and he used to say, not yet, not yet, not yet. And I was tolerating and tolerating. And he was removing all these stones and grass and all the unnecessary elements from me. Then he took me and put on some big circle and started to move the circle. And all world became like circus for me. Everything moving. And I got chakra, I got some spinning and I was screaming, stop, stop. And he was still smiling and telling, not yet, not yet. Then he grabbed my neck and he started to make form whatever he wants, not what I wanted, but whatever he wanted. And he was making the form out of me. And it was so painful. He was squeezing me. And I was saying, stop. I went back to my mom, to my home. And he was saying, not yet, not yet. And then he took me and put in the fire. Heavy fire. He locked me and looking through the window and smiling. And I was feeling like in hell. Please, please stop. Let me out. And he was smiling and he used to say, not yet, not yet. Then he took me, put some chemicals, cold water, hot, cold. And then he painted me and I was suffering. And then he put me on the shelf and go down and left me. For 2-3 months, he never came. And I thought, my Guru Maharaj forgot about me. Patrida Samhita Tatparya. So no attention, nothing. What is this? I was so upset. And then this shopkeeper, mystery, pot maker came and cleaned me from the dust. Chitodarpanamarjanam. And then he put the glass mirror and showed me. And I saw Mr. Universe, Miss Universe in reflection. I could not believe. No, I am black mud. আমি তো কাঙ্গালা কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি যোগ্যতা বিচারে কিচ্ছু নেই পাই I am useless, I am insignificant, I am black mud. No, you are very beautiful now because you went through all that tests, as Prabhupada said, acid test to test the gold, you have to put it into the acid. Then malum ho jayega na, doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani, as they say, no? Then we can understand who is who. Otherwise, everybody boasting. Nowadays, everybody boasting, big lectures. Let us see. Life is the best teacher. So therefore, acid test. And then the cup smiled to the tourist and said, my dear friend, now you understand why I'm so encouraging? Why I'm so costly? All right. Does it make sense? You got the message?
Yes, Prabhuji. So change yourself. First of all, that is important rather than change others. So start from changing yourself and then you can change others.
There is one example that there is two ways of making gold cup. You have to become golden cup. But there is two ways. There's gold polish. You can put on the top, gold plate. Like all of us, we are like iron, We need Srila Prabhupada Paras Pathar to touch. And Paras Pathar, Chintamani stone, philosophical stone, can touch the iron and make it into gold. So, but there is two ways of making gold. You have to gold plate it. You can put iron or steel and plate it with the gold. Looks like gold. But another way, to go to the atomical structure and change the structure of the atoms on the atomical structure, because steel is a metal and gold also metal. Atomical structure only different. But to make out of bell metal gold, you have to go deep and change the atomical structure, which is more difficult. Much easier to plate it, do Bhakti Shastri, Haribol, 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 put together, get diploma and to show everyone, see, why are you not inspired? No. You have to go to the heart level and change your qualities. And you have to go through the fire, ether, Tejab ka pariksha, acid test. Then, malum ho jayega. Then you can see for yourself. Go through this commando training, spiritual commando, like Arjuna. You have to step on the song of your own. You have, as it is said in English, you have to step on the throat of your own song. You have to do not what you want, but what Guru and Krishna wants. And for that, you have to swim against the current. Sir, yes, sir, like that sometimes. But it takes a little bit of time, so make your muscles and never hesitate. Utsaha nishchadharet. Associate with devotees and remember those 10 principles we learned today. All right? From SEAL training. Respect people, take risk. Sometimes we have to go head first, take risk, respect people, never ever ring the bell, however tough it may be. Chances there always, ring the bell, get out from ISKCON and relax, go to seashore or picnic somewhere and relax, do whatever you want. No, it's much more difficult to be in the team and follow the order of Guru. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's a bottomless topic, believe me. Yes, correct. But at the end, Krishna says, Mat chinta ma suchaha. Don't worry, main hu na yaar. Don't sarvadharmam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tam sarvabhave moksha ishani ma suchaha. I am there for you. Believe that. Don't worry, Arjuna. And at the end, yatha yogeshwara Krishna. Arjuna. Yatha yogeshwara Krishna yatha Arjuna dhanurdhara. Vijayi bhavet sitir nitir matir mama. Anita Mataji, you were in army, huh? Amazing, huh? That's far out, super. So you can Torgati Morgati, then you can understand. Takes time to understand one. And one day, I remember I showed you about my mom. Somebody saw, somebody didn't. When she kicked me out from the house, actually, she kicked me. Yesterday, I showed you one clip. I was in army, my father was engineer, my mother was bank manager. And then they kicked me out from the house. And I said, you have to have a courage, For 3 years, I was working as a bungie, like sweeping the road to maintain myself. And I was officer and all my friends used to laugh at me. You fool, you were officer, now you are bungie. What is this? You were a hero, now you are zero. For 3 years, not easy. And I was thinking, Krishna, what are you doing to us? Then my Guru Maharaj sent me to India and then to Bangladesh, then to Allahabad, then to Nepal. Oh no, what to do? Different languages, different culture. But after 25 years, my mother got a cancer. You see, cancer. And then she called me and she was crying. Why bad things happen to good people? And I said, Mommy, what happened? You come to India. one-way ticket. Means one-way ticket. I'll take you to Tirtha Yatra. And she was courageous enough, courageous. She came. She never been, she doesn't know English. She doesn't know anything, nothing. And she was Nastic. He was not very religious. She was business lady. But she came. And I took her to Vrindavan, to Haridwar, Rishikesh, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri. I took her. I said, let me do my Putra Dharma. Let me be your son. Like that. I visit Bangladesh also. Dhaka, Jashore, Kumila, everywhere. So, and when my mom came to Nepal, she visited here. She came to the temple. She was surprised because in airport, all our devotees, all my friends, devotees friends, they received her in airport with the flowers, garlands and flowers. And she was surprised. What is this? How come nobody in my life received me like this? What is this? And she was looking at me and she was asking, who are you? I said, Mom, I'm your son. Don't worry. Like that. And in 1 month, she became devotee. She put tilak, she took japamala, and she told me in 1 month, I got so much encouragement and love that I got so much love in 1 month, I never got it in all my life so much. That's association amongst devotees. Because if you're not encouraged, I remember I told you last class, that what is the difference between tejas and rajas? Tejas and rajas. Rajas means you are disturbed and everybody who comes close to you also disturbed. Utpatayaiva kalpati. But tejas, courage, means you are encouraged, you are enthusiastic, and anyone who comes in contact with you also becoming fire up all night. It's just, they don't know why, but it's just like that. Shakti Parinamavada. Like that. That's it. I don't know. Maybe I showed to some of you the video clip with my mom. I did my video clip. Have you seen?
No. Sure.
Shall I show you? Would you like to see? It's a few minutes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu. Sure, Prabhu.
No, because I'm a little bit out of the box. I'm too much academical. Prasanta Mataji also sometimes maybe doesn't like, because I'm not just Pakka Bhakti VIHE academical teacher, Sometimes I'm grabbing accordion. Sometimes we are just doing some doing Patridas Samhita Tatparya, comments, but at the end, my purpose to make everyone inspired before they are expired. We have to be inspired before we are expired. No? All right, so let me just share the screen with you. And we can stop by this clip. Okay? I don't want to keep you too long. Hare Krishna. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
I make this video clip just for my mom. Now she's watching this clip every day because she said now it's just, and when she came, put tilak, came back to Russia, Ukraine, and my father was surprised. Hey, Budi, what happened? How come? What transformation? And I was laughing because I had to bring my mom back. And my father was laughing. What have you done to my mom, to your mother? And said, Papa, don't worry. Your number also coming. Don't worry. It's now your turn. So my father, he was laughing. He was Pakka communist, but he became now also devotee, chanting Hare Krishna. Not full 116 rounds, but chanting, appreciating, you see. I think that's fair enough. And I make this video clip. And in that video, in Russian language, song means you cannot eat, you can eat a little bit, you can sleep a little bit, you can, do something a little bit, but you cannot love a little bit. Love means divine love. When it comes, you can take the cross and you can take any courage and you can go to any hell for that love. That's the song. And my mom, when she came, I took her to Haridwar first in Ganga. And I put her in Ganga and said, Mom, until you learn Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I will not let you out from Ganga, okay? Samjha? And she was sitting there for half an hour. I never let her out, but she learned Mahamantra. And our Matajis, they put sari on her like that. So please watch.
но никак не получится в миру любви. Можно много стараться, быть лучше других, можно ветру отдаться, пока он не стих. Можно в меру страдать, даже в меру пожить, но никак не получится в миру любить. Когда любовь приходит с неба и видит тот, кто свет, не надо ей тепла и хлеба, она тепло и хлеб. И даже если крест предложен, пойдет на крест она. Любовь одна спасти нас может, одна любовь, одна. Можно как-нибудь верить и как-нибудь ждать, и в закрытые двери хоть жизнь стучать. Можно в сердце свое для судить, но не научиться в меру любить. Когда любовь приходит с неба, увидит тот, кто свет, не надо ей тепла и хлеба, она тепло и хлеб. И даже если крест предложен, пойдет на крест она. Любовь одна спасти нас может, одна любовь, одна.
So I took her and make bath in Ganga, Yamuna, and Radhakunda, Govardhan Parikrama, full package in 1 month, shortcut. And she got all, and then later on she came to Nepal.
И даже если крест предложен, пойдет на крест она. Любовь одна спасти нас может, одна любовь, одна.
And she was doing arati to the deities, and I was shocked actually. How this lady, she kicked me out from the house. Now Krishna changing her heart, right, like that. And I told her 2 mantras only, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and another one, Hey Patita Pavana Gauranga Nityananda, Hey Patita Pavana Gauranga. And she asked me, what does it mean? I said, doesn't matter, you just simply chant, doesn't matter, don't worry. Just simply chant, Hey Patita Pavana Gauranga Nityananda, Gauranga. So she was chanting and she said, oh, I thought I lost my son. But now I realize my son again born to me, and I have not only one son, I have many sons and many daughters. And she was offering this arati, and then she was blessing everyone. And then she went to the city and she was dancing in the city. And I said, Mom, You were telling when I was chanting in Harinam, you told me that I'm crazy. Now you're also chanting and dancing. And she said, I'm also crazy like you now. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Шальной, где моря грозят крутой волной, где подолгу добрую ждем порой мы весь. Чтобы было легче в трудный час, очень нужно каждому из нас, очень нужно каждому знать, что счастье поделись с другим. Мы желаем счастья вам, счастья в этом мире большом, как солнце по утрам, пусть оно заходит в дом. Мы желаем счастья вам, и оно должно быть таким, когда ты счастлив сам, счастье поделись с другим. Мы желаем счастья вам, мы желаем счастья вам, мы желаем счастья вам. Рама, Рама, Харе Харе.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. This is the song Мы желаем
Very
счастья вам. Мы желаем счастья вам means we wish you all happiness. And let happiness will come to your home, fill up your life. And when you fill up, you start to distribute this happiness to others. This was the song. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So please be
Thank you, Prabhuji.
courageous.
Very nice proposal.
Give Krishna to others. Yare deha tare kaha Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Very well.
Hare Krishna. Hope to see you somehow, somewhere in the crossroads of preaching, highways of ISKCON. Hare
And
Krishna.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
please visit in Bangladesh also again, so that you can get your association.
আসবো যদি ভগবানের কৃপা হবে তাহলে সব কিছু হতে পারি আসবো বাংলাদেশে আসবো
What a amazing. Thank you, Prabhu. Can you speak Bengali also, Prabhu?
আমি কথা বলছি
Hari, Hari bol.
হয়ে গেছে সেই জন্য আমি বাংলা শিখেছি ভালো
Thank you. Thank you.
I know 84 lakh Yoni bhasha, especially dog language. Vaishnav Thakur, ami apnar kukur. So, in human life, we have a gift, an opulence, and treasure. The true devotees of the Lord who want to give him pleasure. Keep Guru's order in the heart, example his behold, to whom you meet, give Krishna's feet 2 lotuses to hold. Don't worry profit or the loss, surrender life to Supreme Boss, and far and wide try spread his fame by chanting sweet and holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
stay healthy,
Very
stay
nice.
healthy and happy. Coronavirus is there, so this is challenge. Take care, please. Spiritually, physically also.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Emotionally.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So please bless us, Prabhuji. Hari bol.
Just me. Pray for me and I will pray for you and let's see what will happen. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Rana Prabhu.
It's good for
Thank you
Prabhu
so much,
ki
Prabhu.
jai.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.